This is a first on the Typical Sportsman podcast. While we're recording, we are doing a TikTok live with Scott Evans from Bow Talk. So we are on TikTok live, answering comments, reading comments, and some controversial topics come up, and I answer them the best that I can. I shed some light on some topics and some issues that the commenters bring up. It's a very interesting podcast. I promise if you listen, you're going to laugh. You'll probably disagree with some things, but you also might think about things a little differently. This podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Blocker. It is the springtime. And although if you listen to the podcast at all, you know I'm not a big turkey hunter. However, I do go out with some buddies every once in a while and turkey hunt. Blocker makes phenomenal turkey hunting gear and phenomenal gear all around. My favorite part about Blocker is that they offer incredible gear at a price that everyone can afford. That being said, they also offer my favorite pattern ever to exist, Bottomland. Guys, go check out Blocker for all of your gear. You can hunt whitetail in it and you will be incredibly happy in Blocker. But as far as the spring goes, Blocker is pretty much what I wear. Go check out Blocker Outdoors for all of your hunting apparel. And if you're looking to get into some really good hunting apparel without having to sell your pickup, Blocker's got you covered. Guys, let's dive in with Scott Evans on a TikTok Live podcast, the first ever, and it is incredibly interesting to say the least.
For the true sportsman, it's more than a pastime. It's a way of life. Embrace the lifestyle of hunting, fishing, and the thrill of the wild. Live the life. Be typical.
There are very few things that I have with me every time I'm in the outdoors. Whether I am upland hunting, deer hunting, elk hunting, just out shooting my bow, out checking trail cameras, very few things that are always with me. One thing that I always have with me is my binocular harness. And I searched the world for what I felt to be the best binocular harness. In my opinion, there's a fine line in binocular harnesses. Either you get a lot of space for everything you need, but they're big, bulky, and heavy, or they're super streamlined and I just don't have space for everything that I want to have on my chest. Alaska Guide Creations makes phenomenal harnesses. Guys, I wear them all the time. I wear my harness probably every day at some point in my day. And so comfortability is important to me. The way that it stays put where I want it is important to me, but also having enough compartments and being able to move things around modularly to fit it where I want it is also really important to me. I want my rangefinder in a certain place. I want my knife in a certain place. I want my binos to fold out in a certain way. And with Alaska Guide Creations, they have a full line of binocular harnesses that you can make exactly how you want them. I can put different pockets right where it's going to work best for me and my system. Guys, Alaska Guide Creations is the best, hands down, in my opinion, harness you can get, and take it from a guy who pretty much lives in them. Go check out Alaska Guide Creations for your next and your last bino harness. All right, welcome to the first ever. I'm looking here, I'm looking there. This is the first ever TikTok Live podcast. Scotty Evans, Hot Scott, Bow Boy, Bow Talk. He goes by many names. But we're TikTok Live-ing. So you might be watching TikTok Live. You might be watching on the podcast. Who knows? I've got two different video angles. It's super weird and new, but we're going to run it anyways. I've got permission to do some special giveaways that I haven't even told Scott about from some of our mutual friends. So, but I was told there has to be 500 people viewing the live. So whatever you got to do, Scotty, to make that happen. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I'm going to keep my clothes on. Otherwise, we're going to lose viewership. You said 500 people. Lord have mercy. I haven't had that many views on TikTok Live since I had Ronda Rousey's husband on. God, dandruff.
That's what I was told, though. And when I tell you who said it, it'll make sense. But until we get 500, we can't do that giveaway.
Somebody said, I can barely hear the bald guy.
Wow. Take your hat off, Scotty.
Hey, I didn't say it.
So that's just on my phone, right? I mean, I can't turn the mic up on my phone.
Maybe you're too far away.
All right. Well, let's just get you right up in my business.
Somebody said which one?
Can you hear me now? Now that you're being hurtful.
We're going to call this podcast unprofessional.
Now that you're making fun of my hair, can you hear me now?
Drop it in the comments. Yes, please zoom in so we have to don't have to stare at your junk.
All right. Well, you're there now, big dog. Zoomed in. All right. So now, if you're watching on the podcast after the stupid TikTok live, now we've got through these comments about people making fun of my hair and lack thereof. Scott Evans, Scotty, you've got some. You sent me a little teaser, and I might say it might get a little crazy. So, but hopefully I don't lose my job. For those of you that don't know, I do work in the conservation world, in the fair chase, ethics, bow hunting world. So hopefully I don't lose my job. But we're going to talk about some controversial topics here. Before we start that, though, what the heck you been up to, dude?
Oh, I've just been trying to make a living in the Democrats world. Is all I've been doing, homie. We've been working on arrow builds, selling bows, and just waiting on the day after July 4th when everybody remembers that bow hunting is still a thing. That's what we've been waiting on.
Yeah, I feel you. Cool, man. Well, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to talk to TikTok Live here for a second. Your boy Scotty over here, for those of you Scott fans that tuned in, I gave him an opportunity to go chase bears with me here in about a week, and he said, nah, I'd rather go shoot some targets at old Total Archery Challenge. So I knew he's a foam puncher, not a flesh puncher. But I'm like, dude, bears in Idaho or targets? Like, I mean, you tell me.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to go ahead and pay me back for the money I got in the Airbnb that I can't get back, I'll go with you on that bear hunt.
Dude, you got to cancel that, bud. Like, when it comes
I don't have to. It's still a free country. Trump, baby.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dylan Ray. I am a typical sportsman. And as a typical sportsman, there's no way on God's green earth if a friend of mine called and said, let's go shoot some bears, am I going to say, I'd rather shoot targets? Not a chance, bud.
My name is Scott Evans. Me and my family run a business that is only closed 3 days out of the year. I'm also a content creator and marketing guru who has this thing called Google Calendars. And in order for me to leave the state for a great many days and get on an airplane, it needs to be in my Google Calendar. Otherwise, I don't make money.
All right, 2026. Put it in your calendar then.
Yo, you're froze. Your Wi-Fi is trash. I can see better on TikTok.
Nope, you're not frozen over here, but you're frozen over here.
No, you were frozen. I'm fine.
I cannot hear you on the podcast.
Can you really? How about now?
You went quiet. Yeah, there we go.
All right, we're Gucci. I'm getting Starlink next month.
Nice. They got Starlink at Bear Camp. You should come there.
I'll be with you this spring. Trust me, I would love to go. We have literally been planning this trip, me and 10 other people, since January.
They do not have Starlink at Bear Camp. It's actually why I love going bear hunting in the mountains of Idaho, because there's no cell phone service and you can't reach me if you need me. So before we get too far into this, for those of you right here on, I can't do the big giveaway because we don't have 500 viewers, but I can say this. Everybody by the end of this podcast who goes and subscribes to the Typical Sportsman channel on anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google, doesn't matter. Anywhere you listen to your audio podcast, whoever subscribes, I'm going to give away a free custom set of strings from Dominant Strands. Any way you want it, any color you want it for your bow. I'll message you at the end of this. Whoever won, just go subscribe to Typical Sportsman wherever you get your podcast, and I'll send you a free set of strings. Now,
and for everybody that will unsubscribe from the Typical Sportsman, I will offer you free Sirius arrows for life.
You won't? I'll go unsubscribe right now, homie. I'll do it right now.
What's up, Jeremy? You gonna hook a brother up or what?
Y'all
What were you
ever
gonna
been
say?
caribou
Sorry.
hunting? I have not ever
y'all
been
ever been
caribou
caribou
hunting.
hunting? No, I've been to Alaska, but I've only ever went salmon fishing over there.
Jeremy, this is a bow hunting bear hunt. So if you're more of a man than old Scotty, let's roll out, big dog.
Yeah. God,
Sorry, dude. I got to do it.
Oh, I love it. It's glorious. I'd love it better if this beetle quit knocking the snot out of my glass.
From Quebec, Canada. I shot a bear in Canada about a week ago. I love Canada. How do you scroll through all this crap, dude?
Well, first off, do what I told you earlier. Look at me. Look at me. Hey, eyes here.
I'm looking right at you.
Oh, over here. My bad. Take your finger, put it on the left side of the screen, swipe to the right.
Oh. There we go. Forget bears. Let's go hunt turkeys. Not a chance. Turkey hunting is so stupid. Who in the world would shoot?
Dandruff.
Who in the world would go hunt turkeys when there's a thing as such as bears? I mean,
maybe somebody that's never been bear hunting doesn't know what they're missing.
Like not Scotty. A chance. It's, I mean, listen, if you've listened to my podcast for like more than one episode, you know I'm not a turkey hunter. Never will be, because it's just a stinking bird. So I'll wait till pheasant season when I can shoot a whole mess ton of birds in one day rather than one bird all season. So that's where I'm at on turkeys. All right, Scotty, let's get down to the nitty gritty, big dog, because you've got some stuff that you're excited to talk about.
Well, the first thing I got on my list, and like I said, I've added a few things since I had that Texas margarita at the Mexican restaurant.
And you didn't give me an update. So that's even scarier.
I forgot. Well, I couldn't snap a screenshot and drive. That'd be illegal.
So now you're going to spring stuff on me.
Yeah. So I would like to send a message out there to all bow manufacturers, stabilizer manufacturers, quiver manufacturers, and all that good jazz that seem to be involved in this one picture that I see across all platforms and all companies. What is the big deal with taking a picture of your bow on concrete and editing the shit out of it, making it look real fancy and posting it? You got the bow, you got the stabilizers, you got 3 arrows, you got the release right there. Show me something with a dead animal in it. Lord have mercy. Don't be scared. Come on now. You know what I'm talking about.
You know, the first not the first exposure I had in the industry, but kind of when I got in working in the industry, I was working for Bear Archery and hosting their podcast, the Bear Archery Podcast. And I shoot this banger of a deer, dude. I mean, I was on cloud 9. Like, this is the biggest deer I'd shot to date. And the footage I had of this deer was like mind-blowingly good. I mean, like, it was incredible. And I send pictures to Bear, and again, I was working for them to host their podcast. And this was the first hunting season of that period of my life. And so I was like, dude, yes. And so I sent him all these phenomenal photos, and the guy at the time, he hasn't been there in a long time, says, yeah, we can't post any of these. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't post any of these? And he's like, there's too much blood. I'm like, yeah, I killed it. Like, there's blood, it's dead. Like, and he's like, yeah, it's just too graphic. And in that moment, I'm like, dude, there's something wrong. Like, if a manufacturer of hunting equipment can't post and I'm not saying that's wrong with Bear. This is what's wrong with the entire industry, because they think that, well, now I should be careful, because we're going to get into something in a little while that's incredibly controversial about what we post and how we post it. However, when something dies, there's going to be blood. And like, the general public has to understand that. The general public has to realize that if you are going to kill something, there's going to be blood. 100%. Anyways, I just remember being like heartbroken. Like, I was just like, well, why do I even work for you guys if I'm going to kill animals and you won't even post the pictures? And anyways, so yeah, I understand what you're saying, dude. These hunting companies are gun shy about posting pictures of dead animals. And it's just, that's crazy to me, man. I can't wrap my head around it.
So, coming from somebody that sells a lot of Sitka, I had no idea because somebody said this to me the other day about Sitka and what they do and don't post. There's dominant strands right there in your life.
Yeah, he has bear hunted.
But I had no idea that if you go on Sitka's Instagram page, you will not see a picture of somebody holding an animal that they harvested.
Yeah.
They said they don't promote the hunt. I'm like, that's BS. And I go and look, I'm like, I mean, they kind of are, but they're just not showing the end of the story, so to speak. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Right.
They post some badass pictures. But as far as somebody holding a turkey, holding a mule deer, holding a fish, I mean,
now here's what I believe on social media and what we post as sportsmen, and this is where we get into the ethics behind it. This is for those of you who are on TikTok Live who don't normally tune into the podcast. I'm the marketing director for the Pope and Young Club, which is the ethics, the standard of ethics, if you will, for lack of better way to put it. But here's what I believe on social media and what we post and how we post it and why we post it. First off, in many surveys done, bow hunting is the most accepted form of hunting from the non-hunting community. In other words, we as bow hunters, we have the best chance to reach the non-hunting community and show them what hunting is really, truly about. However, that being said, they want to see the full picture. So a grip and grin, all they see is something dead, and we as hunters are smiling and happy about it. However, when we show the work that's put in, when we show the time and effort that we've put in, when we show how much work has went into the harvesting of this animal, I'm sorry, I just did something I despise. We don't harvest animals, we kill them. I'm not a wheat farmer. Anyways, the work that goes in for us to kill an animal and the time and effort that goes into this, but then also how we as hunters utilize the meat. And it's not just about trophies. It's not just about antlers. It's not just about, that grip and grin that we got to post on social media. When we show the full picture like that, it does more good for the sport of hunting than anything else we can do. So that being said, you can't leave out the kill. It's a detrimental part of what happens as when we go in the field. However, we do have to show the full picture. And that is, so there's some people that do the latter part really well. They show the full picture like a Sitka. And then there's some people that just show the grip and grins and do a poor job of showing the before and after.
I agree 110%. And that's something I learned early on with YouTube. I thought it'd be a really cool idea to show the heart shots. So anytime I make a perfect heart shot on a slick head, take it to the processor, they bring it out. I have my camera. I'm like, man, this is killer footage. Look at that trypan. Look at that mega meat. Look at that sever. Turns out that's frowned upon on that platform as well. I mean, they'll let you leave it up, but they ain't gonna push it through the algorithm. It might be 142 people see it total, and that's pretty bad when you got 20,000 something subscribers on that platform.
Yeah. No, I know.
Lord have mercy. Let's go down the list. Hey, before we start getting into the controversy stuff, does anybody on TikTok right here have something? Appreciate that, BBRY. Have something that they want me to add to the controversy list of topics that we're going to go over tonight.
Be easy now. Be easy.
Nah.
Be easier than Scotty has. What the
don't even spit on it. Just raw dog it. Let's see. All I see is Adelaide. I mean, we get it. She's about as controversial as it comes.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, she's a buddy of mine's wife. Let's see.
Well, that's good.
It makes this cool device that stores your bowstring. I have a cool device too that stores your bowstring. It's called a bow. Let's see. No, what's up, Taylor? All right, we're moving on.
Hold on. I want to say something to Girl Dad Torres. You know who that is?
Torres?
Yeah. Anyways,
go ahead.
I want to talk to you because he said the liberal shelter don't understand that. You're absolutely right, and that's something that I despise about people, because they just want to blind themselves to the fact that for them to survive, something has to die. And I respect somebody more who's a vegetarian than somebody who goes to the store and buys meat, but is not okay with me killing, because what they're doing is they're literally saying, like, I'm okay with stuff dying. I just don't want to know about it. And that to me is such a, Oh,
have you met people like that for real?
100%. Yeah, all the time.
They want to eat a hamburger, but they don't want to know how it got on their plate.
100%, dude. And I sat down next to this lady on the plane not too long ago, and she quickly asked me what I was traveling for, and I said I work in the hunting industry. I'm headed to it's called the Western Hunt Expo. It's in Salt Lake City. It's a bunch of hunters that get together and so on and so forth. And she very quickly made it apparent to me that she was against hunting. And I said, "Ma'am, before we move on with this conversation, are you a vegetarian or a vegan?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Then I would just soon not have this conversation with you, because you're okay with things dying so you can eat them." Now, before I get into this and before we start getting comments, I do understand in order for your salad to be made, something has to die. In order for your little Beyond Burger, whatever they're called, to be made, something has to die. I get that. But my point is, you'll run to the store and buy beef, but you want to blind yourself to the fact that death is a reality and what has taken place. That being said, too, I've had the conversation with people time and time and time again that your food was raised in a pen where it can't even move, and it's injected with hormones, and they don't want it to even be able to walk through the field because they want it to get as fat as possible. Whereas the meat I'm killing has lived this incredible, happy life, wild and free, out, as organic as possible. But yet your cows that stand in a pen and can't move. Yeah, that's a good way to go. So what are you more okay with? And that, anyways, so you're absolutely right, Girl Dad Torres. It's a cowardly way of looking at it, in my opinion. And they just want to blind themselves to the death, whereas I choose to kill them myself. So
I just want to, for anybody that's not going to be able to see this live or on the podcast, Dylan's face red, his face, his ears, his nose, his eyes, everything turned red on that topic. Lord have mercy. Looked like a Viking warrior, like he's about to sail across the ocean and raid.
That's just like, I get fired up about this topic because for those of you who don't know as well, I'm also a Bible believing Christian, and I get now. Listen, please don't tune off when I say this. Non-hunters are just like atheists, and I'm not saying that if you're a non-hunter, you're an atheist. Please understand when I say that. But what I'm saying is, Christians don't go around getting mad at atheists and spewing hate and nonsense at them. And the non-hunting community is the same way. I don't ever spew hate at somebody because they're a non-hunter. But for some reason, they want to tell me like, yeah, I hope your whole family dies in a fire because you killed something. And that's just, it's so ludicrous to me, man, like how staunch they are. You know what I mean? Anyways. Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good.
You're better?
What's your first controversial topic?
I felt moved by this. I mean, I felt like I was at a Ted Nugent convention just now. Lord have mercy, without the cussing.
Yeah, you haven't even got to the controversy yet. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know how to start. Way to go, Girl Dad, or whoever it was. Ruger must be acting up. Yeah, my dog was running in his sleep like he could still run down a pheasant or something. He was break dancing on the wooden floor that ain't wood no more. All right, first controversial topic. Do I want to start at the top? Do I want to start at the bottom? Let's see here.
Started an easy one.
An easy one? Okay.
Yeah.
Do hunting brands make the hunter? Ooh.
No, not at all.
You mean to tell me if I don't wear my Badlands head to toe, if I don't wear my Kuiu head to toe, if I don't wear my Sitka head to toe, I won't kill bigger deer? What do you mean?
No, not at all. I have the very unique opportunity to work for Pope and Young and get to talk to some of the biggest, baddest bow hunters literally on the planet. And got to share camp with Chuck Adams just a couple years ago. And here's what I learned about Chuck is like, dude hunts in cotton t-shirts that are, the old school, like duck camo t-shirts, and breaks world records every year and shoots a a Bear Alaskan, which is a budget bow, and goes into the backcountry of Alaska for 28 days and kills quite literally 3 new world records. So no, and that's something that if you listen to my podcast during the bear archery days, that's something I talked about was that, I like that Bear makes bows for everybody, and that Bear, you can shoot a $600 bow and go out and shoot world records. And I still hold to that mentality, and I still hold to that ideology. Like and yes, don't get me wrong, I get caught up in gear as much as the next person, but I also know a whole lot of dudes that kill stuff with, an old 2007 bow wearing cotton t-shirts. Like,
preach on it.
So no, not at all. It doesn't make
you would be amazed at how many Bear whitetail 2s, high countries, golden eagles, Parkers, basically bows from the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s still come into the shop every single week to get restrung because people are still laying down slick heads and laying down bigger deer than that with them.
I actually talked to a guy. His name's Frank Noska. He's probably one of the best bow hunters to ever live. But he's completely just unpublished, doesn't have a TV show, podcast, hardly ever posts on social media. But he's only 4 animals away from completing the North American Super Slam for the 3rd time. And one time I asked him, I said, Frank, how do you afford to do this crap? And one of the reasons he gave, he's like, well, first off, I haven't bought a bow since 2007. Like I don't spend $3,000 on a bow every year. I spend $3,000 to go on this hunt or that hunt every year. And so I'm all about dude, it almost makes me mad when somebody comments and like, how do you afford to go on an elk hunt every year? And then I look at their Facebook page and they're decked out in Sitka. And I'm like, well, sell the Sitka, big dog, and you can go on 3 elk hunts. You know what I mean? That almost makes me mad when people spend so much money on gear that then they can't afford to go and do the adventures they bought the gear for. So no, I actually think it's the opposite. I think sometimes the gear and the hunting companies work against you as an outdoorsman.
They do to a certain extent, but at the same time, the flip side of it is there are certain hunts that people go on. There we go. There are certain hunts that people go on that require higher quality gear in order to stay out in the elements. But like you said, definitely a majority of the hunts, especially in the Southeast and even where you're at, probably not. I mean, people could get away with a lot less whitetail hunting than they could, say, a Canadian bear hunt as far as the weather goes, depending on the region, depending on the state and all that good jazz. Let's see what else I got here in this little notebook of mine. Let's see.
While you look for your next topic, I'll say this. We talked about clothing, but as far as gear goes too, and hey, I am all about, I actually said on the last podcast, I said 2 episodes ago, I said to shoot a bow that's not tuned is unethical and selfish. And anyways, so I'm all for shooting a very well-tuned bow. However, I see a lot of dudes put a lot of money, time, and effort into their setups, and they're shooting, 15 yards at a whitetail. And I'm like, I mean, dude, you did not need a dialed sight and a $300 ham ski, and you didn't need this equipment to shoot a deer at 15 yards.
But it looks so good for the Instagram, though.
Oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I shoot dialed. I hate ham ski, so I don't shoot ham ski. But what I was saying is a lot of people seem to forget that not too terribly long ago, they were sharpening rocks and tying them to a stick, and that was getting the job done. You know what I mean? And I talked to one old boy, and he said, well, basically alluded to the fact that he was too good to shoot an Alaskan. And I said, man, that's funny. I said, because old Chucky, he just broke the world record 3 times with an Alaskan in the backcountry of Alaska for 28 days. But yeah, you're right. It's probably not good enough for you to shoot deer at 19 yards. You're probably right. I mean, it's funny to me that people think that they have to have all this equipment to shoot deer. You know what I mean?
It's a mental game for a lot of people. They want to be the. I truly believe that bow hunting has become almost the pinnacle of hunting as far as being the cool kid on the block. A lot of people idolize other people who are very successful bow hunters, and they don't realize how much effort some of these, like the guy you're talking about, how much effort they put in to just shooting their bow. And like you said, make sure the bow is tuned. And of course,
there's also something to be said about just keeping a bow and learning that bow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you buy a new bow every 8 months, you can't. No, I'm not saying you can't, because I mean, I have the privilege of shooting every day and shooting a lot of arrows every day. But the everyday Joe can't get acclimated to a bow, learn that bow, and shoot that bow real well. The next thing he knows, he's buying and getting a new one right when he's getting used to that bow. Like, so that's my thing. Best custom bowstrings, Dominant Strands, is in the chat. That's your guy right there. I will say this. There's a lot of dudes that make a lot of really great custom bowstrings. Just don't shoot your stock strings. Base layers are the best thing you need, 100%.
14 years on a current bow. Lord have mercy. Oh.
What's your next topic, dude?
Do we want it soft or do we want it hard? What are you feeling, D?
Go for it, man. Let's just get to it.
Go for it. You just want to raw dog it one time?
I guess. We're here.
What happened with Chris B and the water buffalo in Australia?
Oh crap.
I know I'm late to the game because
here we go.
I still don't have all the facts because that's how much I care about it. But I keep hearing whispers of certain things.
Let me get this straight. Mm-hmm. Let me straighten one thing out. I don't know all the facts. Here's what I do know.
Okay. You tell me what you know and I'll tell you what I think I know.
I do know homeboy went to Australia or Africa. Was it Australia or Africa?
Australia.
Australia.
Down under.
Shoots a water buffalo. And for those, I mean, he's filming all of this because it's Chris B. Shoots a water buffalo and has to shoot it like 7-8 times to kill it, and puts it on his YouTube of shooting this animal 7 or 8 times. I have not seen the video. I do not consume a bunch of hunting content. I found out about this just actually a few weeks ago for a reason I'm not going to get into. Anyways, shoots this animal 7 or 8 times and kills it. Posts it on his YouTube. Now, the government in Australia is literally using that footage to ban bow hunting in Australia, to show that this is not ethical, to show, look, this is a famous world-class shooter, and it took him 8 times to kill this animal. This is why we should not be allowing bow hunting in this Providence or whatever they call them there. So now one of our ambassadors of our sport is getting bow hunting banned in an area because of what he did and how he did it. Again, I don't know all the details. I don't know how it all went down, but I do know that is the gist of what has happened. And again, going back to what we post, it is so vitally important to show the full story, to share everything that's happened. However, and that's why I said I had to be careful, because in the same breath earlier where I said blood is going to be shed if we kill animals, we also have to show it in a clean, respectful manner.
Especially if you got 300,000 subscribers on YouTube 100%. And you're going to post it. I'm not going to lie. I do not know Chris personally. He probably won't ever want to talk to me after I get done with this podcast.
Okay.
If he hears it.
Here we go. Freddie G. Kai. No, absolutely. You should not just quit. I have had to shoot animals multiple times in order to kill them. It is our duty. And this is going to the ethics, and this is going to, it is our duty, if I draw blood on an animal, to do everything in my power to put that animal out of its misery. That is my duty as a sportsman.
Here's the deal, boys and gals. Did he do the right thing and keep putting arrows into that animal to dispatch it as fast
100%.
as he could? Absolutely. Did he prepare himself for that hunt with the correct equipment in order to dispatch that animal even quicker? No, I do not believe so whatsoever. You do not go after an 1,800-pound animal with a 440 grain arrow. I don't care how fast it is. That is unethical in my opinion. There's a reason why the guys in Africa supposedly wouldn't let him come over there, because he told them what, now this is hearsay, but he told them what grain arrow, and I'm pulling 80, 85 pounds. They said, no, you have to be shooting X amount of grainage on an arrow before we even let you, go hunting. So he found somebody in Australia that said, yeah, we'll try it. And I'm not even going to say this part because I really don't know if I don't know if it holds water or not. But anyways, he was trying to make a point that speed is, king over momentum. And that is incorrect when it comes to a 1,800-pound animal. I'm pretty sure it's 1,800 pounds. I think I looked it up. Average water buffalo size is, I think, 12 to 1,800 pounds. But actually, I think it goes up to 2,200 pounds if it's a big bull male. But to hammer on that topic a little bit more, I mean, if you're going after, if you're, for one, spending that money to go on that kind of trip, I would highly recommend doing a lot more research on front of center, kinetic energy, and the type of animal you're going after. There's no, I mean, I'm a I shoot heavier grained arrows or for whitetail. I mean, I don't understand the point he was trying to make. And the fact that he posted that video with his kind of following. I mean,
that's my thing is even if all the intentions are good and Freddie G, I just, to kind of hit on your point, like honestly, I'm not even concerned with the equipment that he used because I don't believe that he made the choice to use something that he did not think was good. I mean, obviously in his mind, he thought what he was doing was right. That's not even the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that we as hunters, we have to care what the non-hunting community thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to come a day, and listen, whoever wants to disagree with me on this, you certainly can. I have to be concerned with what the non-hunting community thinks because there might come a day where they're given the right to vote. And I'm not saying it's right. This is ballot box biology instead of science-based biology. There might become a day where they are given the right to vote on whether I should be able to continue to bow hunt or not. And I certainly don't want them to picture in their mind a video of a water buffalo being shot 8 times. So we have to be careful about the way we present ourselves as hunters. And that's my whole issue with this. I can't begin to think that I mean, I guess I could. I don't choose to think that Chris B tried to do something immoral and unethical. Mm-hmm. I think he was using equipment that he thought would work, which is why he used it. I don't think he went over there thinking, man, I want to spin a quiver on this guy. However, I'm more concerned with the fact that you videoed it and posted it. Now, even if you talk about it and share it, I'm fine with that. But the graphic content of you sharing that and showing an animal that's suffering is bad. You will never see me spine a deer. To your point, Freddie G, absolutely. I have the moral obligation to finish off that animal if I put an arrow in it. But you will never see me spine a deer and then stop and take a video with it flailing behind me before I finish it off. That's my point. Finish it off and then take your photos, do your interviews, talk about it. But don't show the animal suffering before you put the next arrow in it.
So to hit on something Dustin was responding to Freddie G about, he said it's the fact that he shot it with a 420 grain mechanical head. He actually did not use a mechanical head, and that was actually the piece of information that I was withholding, but it seems like I'm not the only person that heard about that. He wanted to use a mechanical head, hearsay, but that was where the outfitter supposedly drew the line and said, no, you do have to use a single bevel broadhead or some kind of fixed head. And but no, it was not a mechanical broadhead to my knowledge. That was unacceptable.
You're absolutely right too on that, Dustin. This certain area was already trying to ban bow hunting, and so it's not like everything was well off, and then he did this and everything went south. That being said, you're 100% right. Going into a situation like that, you should be the very best ambassador for the. I don't like to call us a sport. For the privilege that we have.
I just made an ethical kill on a fly with my hat. 1 shot, 1 kill, baby.
Attaboy.
Folded him. Folded. It didn't go 20. Sorry.
And your hat's only 420 grains. Interesting.
That's lighter than that. I mean, speed kills. What can I say?
Let me just say this. I don't know where you stand on the arrow build. Before we move on to our next topic, I don't know where you stand on the arrow build. I would consider Ranch Fairy a friend of mine. We chat often, and but I've oftentimes told him, like, dude, I don't buy into your super mega heavy. But I'm not a light arrow guy. I run about 525, 550. I could care less how fast my arrow is flying. Where you at? I'm in Kansas, big dog. Anyways, I could care less how fast my arrow is flying. I would rather get hit with a ping pong ball going 200 mile an hour than a bowling ball going 20 mile an hour. Like, that's just the case. So I shoot a heavier arrow, and I want to penetrate hard and deep. And people are like, what arrow spine does your wife shoot? What weight does she shoot? She's shooting 43 pounds, and she's shooting a 475 grain arrow. And she's got a bear tag next week. She's going to Idaho with me. Since Scotty couldn't come, I guess I decided to take her instead. So she's coming with me. But anyways, beef your arrows up and quit shooting childish arrows.
Where was I saw a comment here. Let's see here. Most of them won't let you use mechanical broadheads over there. Well, they shouldn't. Their critters are a lot bigger than ours. Let's see. This is something I wasn't.
What's the FOC on that flat bill?
I responded to him. I said 500%, homie. Jeremy said something that I don't know anything about. Maybe you do, Dylan. He said, I'm still stuck on the fact that he wounded the first buffalo and then literally said,
I've not heard of that.
Oh, well, we'll get another one. So apparently that might be something behind the scenes, but that's allegedly. We don't know the facts on that.
Now, just to be clear, this is not some secret. Again, this is on his YouTube. I don't know if he was forced to take it down, but
it was there
for a long time.
The only way you can find it now is from people that bootlegged it and saved the video, basically just to say, hey, don't do this. I mean, once again, and I think Dustin or somebody said something. Be a better ambassador when you got that many eyeballs on you. I mean, that's not good. We can do better as conservationists. It's not allegedly. It was in the. Oh, it was in the video, the original video. I saw it. I don't remember seeing that part. Wow. Man, maybe we need to do TikTok lives and podcasts more often. We've got call a friend on standby.
Now, before we go on, like, there are people. I don't know Chris B personally. I have his email. I don't know him at all. I do know people that know him very well. I've got his email. Okay, that's it. Like, that's the extent of how I know Chris.
You could have left that part out.
I'm just saying, like, that's the extent to which I know Chris. However, here's what I will say. I have done things that I'm not proud of. Like, I have done things that, looking back, hindsight's 2020. So I don't hate Chris for this. Like, I'm not bashing Chris for this. My point in talking about this is to hopefully share with people that we have to be cognizant of what we post, how we post it, and why we post it. Because I promise you, and I see it every day with my career, I promise you there will be a time where people are given the opportunity to vote on your rights as a bow hunter, and you are going to want them to be thinking of you in a good light, not in a poor light. That's why I got so fed up with all the hoopla of putting the duck bill in your mouth or riding the deer down the hill. Like, that's such a disgrace to an animal. And so I'm so passionate about the way that we carry ourselves as hunters. And That's the whole point I wanted to make. I'm not saying that Chris is a horrible human. Again, I've had to shoot deer multiple times. I've had to. That's part of it. However, I just think we have to be careful about the way we portray ourselves to non-hunters and to the public in general.
Well, I'd say he would agree with you. Otherwise, he wouldn't took the video down.
Right.
That's one of those, oh, shit.
Want to get Chris on the phone?
Moments.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Put him in.
Loop him in.
Let's see if he can fit us into his schedule.
What does this mean? Chris B wants to join your live. I'm just kidding.
Considering I'm the host, I would see that, not you, homie. Because let me tell you something.
That's what it says.
Except, come on in. Let's talk to you, Christopher.
How is the duck bill a disgrace? Because you've just taken the life of something, and I can promise you, if your dead grandmother was laying there, you would not want somebody to come up and stick her finger in your mouth, and take a photo of it. Because we need to honor the life that we've taken, and you've just taken that animal's life. So to hang it out of your mouth is kind of just a little bit disgraceful.
Oh, duck bill. Oh, okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now. I wasn't sure what y'all were talking about. I must have been going to the fridge when you were talking about the duck. I know what you're talking about now. Okay, we're good. All right. What's the next
topic? This guy says.
Oh Lord, moving things along. Let's see here. Which one? Is it safe to say that influencers are only worried about killing the biggest deer, the longest beard on a turkey, catching the fattest trout? Oh, Lord. What is your goal as a content creator?
What do you think? I'm the worst person to answer this because I literally, I've got friends in here that can vouch for this, dude. If a 110 comes out, I'm smoking that bad boy. And I live in Kansas. The reality of shooting a 160 is real. But I don't pass up 120s waiting on a 160. I don't care what you think of the animals I kill. If it walks out and gets me giddy, I'm shooting it. That is 100% who I am.
I'm probably the second worst person to ask this because I shot 8 slickheads and 1 controversial deer, depending on who you ask. I mean, he stepped in frame. He asked for it. That's the way I look at it. And it was,
that's what I'm talking about.
It was a deer that got my rocks off and apparently got my dog's rocks off too. Cause he,
that's what I'm talking about. Dominant Strands. He knows me.
Oh yeah. Slickhead Slayer.
One time I sent him a picture of I don't know, it was a 115, 120 walking by. And he said, wow, you're maturing not to shoot it.
I'd say it's 50-50. Every other guy and gal has a different opinion. I would agree with that, Daryl. I think a lot of people, social media influencers, and I've been called that myself, but not necessarily. I'm definitely not known for slaying big bucks. Probably never will be. If I do, it'd be like my birth, an accident. That deer just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because I'm going to tell you right now, with the amount of property I have to hunt in my home state of Georgia, I can pattern deer for a little while, but
I think here's my thing. I think that those social media influencers and personalities that were in it for that, I think they've been, I don't want to say exposed because there's nothing wrong with trophy hunting. But I think that they have been found out as being, they only, they're hunting private high fences with tower blinds and food plots, and I think they are what they are. And listen, Lee and Tiffany, shout out. I love those guys to death. They shoot mega giants. I'm never going to have access to the properties that they hunt. So there's also that side of things of once you get to that level, you're just hunting bigger caliber deer, period. So that's my standpoint on it. But I do think that the people are only in it for that. I think that they have been, and again, exposed is, for lack of a better terms, that's all I can come up with. I think they have been, the light has been shown on that's what they're in it for, and good for them. Ooh, I think this just said Brad.
Oh, no. Hold on. The light just went off. My ADD is going to run out if I don't get this out of my mouth. Do you think that the purchase of licenses, especially out-of-state licenses, has something to do with driving? What the hell was I going to say? Oh, driving up the number of trophy hunters in general. You got a $500 Illinois tag. You can only kill 1 buck.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Before, yes. So to look at it like this, I hunt Oklahoma every year as a non-resident. The price of my tag doubled last year, and they didn't do it because their quality of deer are just now. Oklahoma is a very, very awesome place to deer hunt. I think it's a diamond in the rough. I think it's way overlooked. I mean, there are some phenomenal deer in Oklahoma. Anyways, they had to raise the price of their tags to lower the amount of tags that were sold. So rather than putting it in a draw system or a lottery system or whatever, they just said, well, we'll increase the amount of tags that are sold, which will decrease the amount of people that buy them. So yeah, I mean, I think there's different purposes and different ways to look at it. I mean, I think they increase them for different reasons. But you know, I don't know all of that.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because my home state of Georgia does not care anything about killing mature whitetail. That's why they
perfect
give us,
example.
Yeah,
the reason
$2 and 10 does on one license. No, we have to tag each one, but we don't have to buy tags.
So the reason that those are going up is because they need less tags sold, i.e., less deer killed. Whereas you look at Georgia, Louisiana, Arkansas, where I grew up, they need as many deer as possible killed. So they're going to keep them cheap and make them easily and readily accessible. So people will come and shoot as many deer as they can because they need those deer killed. Whereas there are states that increase the tags to make it, less accessible, and less hunters will come and buy a tag. And then if that doesn't work, then they'll look at furthering that and putting it in a draw system and only selling a certain amount of tags.
T just dropped a comment. This is something I would respond to if it was a comment on one of my videos. I would actually make a video about this probably. Why do other hunters care what someone else walks? Let me tell you something, T. It's because they think their opinion is worth more than what it really is, and their mama didn't beat them as a child. That's why. Just let the haters hate, homie. It's your hunt. It's your tag that you paid for, as long as you're doing it legally and ethically. And if you want to let a deer walk, let it walk. Lord have mercy. I let squirrels walk every day. I mean,
yeah.
It's your hunt. Let people hunt the way they want to. This is supposed to be fun. It's a privilege that we get to get out in them woods and swing from a saddle or sit in a lock on or get up in a climb or a ladder stand, blind, whatever. I mean, a lot of people take it for granted, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not my tag. I'll never be upset for you that you did shoot something, or I'll never be upset for you that you didn't shoot something. Man, this goes so fast, and you can't see who all joined. I think Brad from Boning joined. Brad, if you're in here, let us know. Are you a boning dealer? Do you deal boning?
I haven't in a while.
My gosh.
I did it. Hey, calm down there with your bald ass head.
Take your hat off.
It's got a little 5 o'clock shadow going on right now. Actually, I did some tanning earlier, so it's probably a little red. Probably looks like yours, honestly. Shoot what makes you happy. That's 100% right, Dominant Strands. You pay for conservation. It's like, yep, 100%.
The reason I ask is because I don't know if you have played with it yet, but the Alpha Vein from Boning, I shot the same 4-fletch heat for years. Loved it. But the Alpha Vein that was just introduced is like absolutely incredible. I love it.
I was one of the first ones to do a review on it. Thanks for keeping up with me. So you want to know what's funny is I was actually during the release of that, Brad, if you're on here, you got to say something here. I was actually in the backcountry of Idaho elk hunting when that was released. So I had sent them my videos about the vein that I had done, and I had, scheduled out the post about the video to release on that day. But it happened like the day I left. So then I was gone for like 9 days. So I was so far behind. I didn't see anybody else's reviews or what anybody else said. So I didn't keep up with you because I was killing stuff. I've seen you shoot. You ain't killing nothing but time.
We talk a lot about our favorite bows, about our favorite camo, our favorite arrows, and we invest a lot of money into the gear that we use. Listen, that investment does not matter if you're not healthy enough to get out in the woods. That investment of your camo does not matter if you can't make it up the mountain to where the elk are. One of the best investments you can make is investing in your health, investing in the longevity of you as a hunter. Guys, Mountain Tough is truly changing lives of people all around the world. It's changed my life. It's changed lives of people like Mr. Randy Newberg. His testimony about Mountain Tough is absolutely phenomenal. He's even partnered with them to help make a program for people 50 and over because he's so passionate about what it's done for him in his life. Guys, Mountain Tough truly is incredible. And I want to give you a chance to try it for 6 weeks completely free. When you use the code TYPICAL, all caps, typical, you're going to get the original 14 days free, but then you're also going to get an additional 30 days free, 6 weeks of free training. Give it a shot, give it a try, and just see. I promise you in that 6 weeks, you'll feel better. You'll perform better. You'll look better. Everything about your life will improve if you just give it a chance. If you don't like it at the end of that 6 weeks, no harm, no foul. But I want to give you a chance to try it free for 6 weeks. Again, Mountain Tough, use code TYPICAL, all caps, and try it for 6 weeks completely free. Speaking of shooting, here's a controversial topic for you.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a release because I wanted to.
You want to borrow
find a
mine?
release? No. All right, here we go. Here's my problem. I'm all about shooting a well-executed shot. I don't shoot a well-executed shot. I'm a trigger puncher. I don't really care to tell people that. What's funny is when it comes to shooting a recurve, I practice shooting a perfect, well-executed back tension shot. But when it comes to shooting a compound, let's just punch it and be done. Here's my question for you. And here's my question for Mr. Joel Turner, Tom Clum, all the other recurve coaches, shooting coaches who want to answer. Great. If you're holding on the target, but yet the execution of your shot is you moving your thumb, how is that punching the trigger? Because they would say you have to just pull back and let it break, which I get that. I understand how all that works. But I'm saying if I'm holding on the target and I'm letting my pin float there and I slowly start to squeeze my thumb, how is that punching a trigger?
Because you're squeezing your thumb and not using back tension to make the shot go off with your thumb.
But again, like, I mean, I'm not arguing for the sake of I am a trigger puncher. Like, I have no problem in saying that. But my thing is, like, for me, a trigger punch is, oh, there's the pin, punch the trigger.
Right.
Whereas, and I was trying to explain this to my wife. We were shooting just before this started, and I was trying to explain to her, and she's shooting a wrist rocket. But I was trying to explain to her, and I teach shooting a well-executed shot. Like, if somebody comes to me and says, can you teach me how to shoot? I'm going to teach them to pull through your shot.
Hey, watch me shoot. Don't do this.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Again, I know what to do and I know how to do it. I just don't. Anyways, I was trying to tell her all that. And she said, well, what's the difference in that and just pulling my thumb? Like, I'm still just holding on the target. Like you said, I'm applying the back pressure, but then I just slowly squeeze my thumb until the shot breaks. And I'm like, well, good point. I mean, I'm activating it by pulling my shoulder back. You're activating it by staying in the back, but pulling your thumb. I mean, and I don't know that there's an answer to this because, again, I'm not arguing it for the sake of, like, I'm right.
So somebody like Joel Turner, who's actually a coach and has dove into that, would actually be much more acclimated to answer properly than I would. I don't ever claim to be a coach. I've never had any coaching. I just have a very consistent shot process, whether it's right or wrong. I've been doing it for a long time and it works.
I don't like this topic.
Slow squeeze on the release. I hear you.
And again,
Scotty
like
is
that,
correct. I love it, Dominant Strands.
I agree with that. Slow squeeze on the release. So even if you're sitting there and I'm not punching the trigger as far as like, oh, there's the pin on the target, punch it. But I'm holding the pin on the target. I'm applying the back pressure, but then I activate it with my thumb. To me, that's
here's what I will say. So the difference in actually thumb punching versus executing the shot with back tension on thumb release. The biggest difference is obviously thumb punching. You can usually see it, especially if you're watching somebody shoot from the side, and they'll actually bring their thumb in tighter and tighter and tighter until the release goes off. I don't see what I did there. I'm still pulling through the shot. So that's my muscle memory. But they'll apply pressure, or sometimes they'll just slap it, which is very obvious. What I try to explain to people, if you actually want to make a thumb release go off I shouldn't say correctly, the best way, the most consistent way, if you can get it down properly, is wrap that thumb around that barrel as deep as you can and then leave it there. Don't move it. And as you're holding on target, you're pulling, and then the shot will go off. I did a video on this a while ago. A index release, a back tension release, and a thumb release. You can make them all go off the exact same way. Some people would argue with that, but some people also thought Biden was a great president. It's all about how you use your body and activate that release. What you looking for down there?
What are you looking for?
Nothing.
No, I would agree with you 100% on that topic. That you can shoot an index with perfect shot execution. But I also don't think if you wrap your finger around that wrist rocket and you slowly squeeze your finger as you apply back tension. Anyways, it was just a question it's been something I've been thinking about. Yeah. What's your next controversial topic? Because what's his name doesn't like this topic, he said. So.
Oh, well, let's all do what Jeremy said. Do you know who Jeremy Meyer is?
I don't believe so.
He works for Serious Archery. That's why I made that comment earlier. Serious Arrows.
Oh, yeah. Go and subscribe. I'm going to go and subscribe. Jeremy, send me some arrows.
Wow. Way to be a basic influencer. Send me free shit.
Right.
All right. Next one on my little notepad here. Who is the biggest controversial hunter in the industry? I bet you $5 I know at least two names that are going to pop up. Let's see what happens.
Oh, man.
What you got for me, TikTok? Let's see here. Join the ambassador program. Contact Jeremy for details. Attaboy, Patty. Josh Bomar. Didn't see that coming.
Lord, 100% agree. Just so everybody's on here, I do agree with that.
Michael Waddell, didn't see that one coming.
Oh yeah, I would not agree.
Crispy. Ted Nugent, you're fired.
Now, Scotty, and I do think that it's a little bit different because
Botox. Let's talk about it, homie. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Bo Disciples. Just again. That's just because he bailed out on us because he was busy. I will say before I give any names, I think we're in a unique position because, like you just said, you would not have thought that Michael Waddell was coming up, and I would not either. And I would have to disagree with whoever said that. But we're in a unique position because we get to have conversations with these guys. Like, we get to know them. We get to know who they are. Mm-hmm. And, it's going back to that idea of like, well, some people think Waddell's controversial because, he shoots mega giants and he's only hunting mega giants. And, well, again, if I have access to those properties, I'm going to shoot mega giants too. Like, that's not what we can't get upset about that. And talking with Waddell, like, I think he represents our sport very well. He gets to shoot incredible bucks, but anybody given the opportunity to hunt like if you get to go to the Hooray Ranch and you don't shoot a 180 because you say, oh, he's too big, I better not. Like, well, and honestly, then you're the controversial one.
I'm hitting that SOB with the ranch hand on the front of my F1 shitty.
Yeah.
180 walks out in front of me. He ain't making it across the yellow line.
Oh, dude, Lord. Let me tell you something. I know some dudes who guided at Hooray Ranch, and they just see them all the time. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous. That place just sold for like an ungodly amount of money. Anyways, so we're in a unique position because we get to talk to some of these dudes. We get to hear their hearts on the issues. And, but yeah, I would say Bomar. That is a name that I would come up with. And again, controversy doesn't mean I think they're wrong. Controversy doesn't mean I think that they are a horrible person. Controversy means I think they raise controversy. And anybody who gets in trouble for breaking the law when it comes to hunting, but makes their living in the hunting industry, that is controversy. And I don't care. You can split that any way you want. Here's my thing. You can say anything you want. He didn't really do it. I don't care. If you get busted for something in the outdoors and you make your living in the outdoor industry, you are controversial. Like that's
you have 3 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
That'll hurt you too. So here's my take on the Josh Bomar ordeal. I know Josh. We spoke on the phone.
You have his email though?
No, I don't have his email, but I do have his phone number.
Ain't tight.
And let me go ahead and tell y'all something. What y'all see on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as far as the shots he makes on critters don't do justice to some of the text messages I've got because he can't post these things. That man is an absolute killer. And he's probably one of the best shots I've ever seen looking through a phone. Now, with that being said, I know what he's been accused of and supposedly cleared of, this, that, and the other. Here's what I know about that particular topic. I know that he was with an outfitter that supposedly was, or not supposedly, obviously was doing illegal activities in the outdoor industry. And Josh did not do his homework on that particular outfitter, and he got caught up in it. And he flat out said, "It's my fault. I should have crossed my I's and dotted my T's." Now that's something that me and Josh personally have not talked about. I think mostly what we've talked about is back when he was launching his Beast Broadheads, because obviously he wanted me to do a little marketing for him, which pretty cool broadhead. But that's the extent of my knowledge on that subject. And I would never ask Josh, like, "Hey, did you do it?" But if he ever brought it up to me, I would definitely entertain that conversation. But at the same time, if you're not there, you don't really know.
Yeah. Now again, like that's my thing. Like whether you did it or not, we have a right. Ethics should be at the top of our thought. And we should think about everything. So whether you did it or not, again, I'm not here to accuse the Bomars. I don't know them personally. I've never spoken one word to them. They might not have done anything wrong. But when you bring that kind of light to the industry that you make money in, you're controversial. Like that's all there is to it.
And see their scenario. Okay, so if you're comparing like their scenario to the Chris B scenario, it's so different because they didn't post any videos about it.
Right.
I mean, it was a legal aspect that unfortunately fortunately, but unfortunately, I guess in those shoes, so many eyeballs were on them that it got brought to light. And I've seen so many people literally try to make a following off of just bashing them and saying this, that, and the other. And whether it's true or not, who cares? But you know what? If you're trying to make a following out of bringing down somebody else's career, you're a scumbag, in my opinion, and you don't have anything better to talk about.
Now there are some people in here. I mean that honestly, I don't. I don't have any knowledge of, and I wouldn't. MFJJ, I don't know why he would be controversial. Ranch Fairy, 100%. Like,
let me tell you something.
and
MFJJ has surprised me so far.
How so?
He's more. So I've never really watched a whole lot of his content because I just don't watch. Honestly, I'm an old soul with young blood. I turn on historic Civil War movies on YouTube and go to bed. But he's really surprised me what few videos I've really watched as far as how in depth and how right he is, at least on what I've seen. I've not watched all 500 of his videos, people. I know some people are going to say he's wrong. I'm supposed to, I think me and him and James are supposed to meet up in PA and maybe shoot together. He's got a really good personality so far. We'll find out. We'll find out if he can handle Scotty on Twisted Teas here in the next week and a half. Chris,
I'll say this.
Sorry,
hold on. Let me because I mentioned Ranch Fairy because again, I would consider Ranch Fairy a friend. However, when you take such a strong stance on a topic, and you are to the far side of that particular topic, you're controversial. So and again, I agree with Ranch Fairy on a lot of things. I think people should spine up and shoot a heavier arrow. Do I think they should go to 750 grains? Do I think they should shoot 1,000 grains? Do I think you can only shoot a single bevel? I don't even shoot a single bevel. So I do think that his methodology is right on a lot of things. However, again, when you take that stance of something that is so far to one side and you stand there strongly, you're controversial. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong to be controversial. I'm not saying what Ranch Fairy is doing is wrong.
So
he is controversial.
I've watched a couple Ranch Fairy ordeals, and like you said, I disagree with the super heavy. I disagree with the super heavy arrows. For me personally, I don't disagree with the higher FOC. But he did say something in one of his videos years ago. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you before I probably even created a YouTube channel. He said in a video one time, he said, if you want to shoot over 23 yards, don't watch my stuff. I was like, there you go.
Jeremy says Ranch Fairy is not a hunter. New topic. He must have not liked serious arrows.
I'm pretty sure he uses tough head broadheads, which is which is owned by Sirius. So I don't know. That's why I said what I said. CJ Alexander, I told you that one would pop up. I told you. The Alexander buck.
Okay.
So I don't have the details on this. We kind of hit on a little bit. Dylan has some. Y'all need to check this out. This is pretty good. Go ahead, Dylan.
So I don't consider CJ Alexander controversial. I consider you an absolute lawbreaker. I consider you somebody who should never be able to hunt again. There's no controversy about that. You took our resource as hunters and you abused it and you broke the law and you should not be allowed to hunt anymore. Now, I don't view it as controversial because, again, there's nothing to discuss on this. You broke the law. Like, you are plain as day in the wrong. So just to backtrack a little bit.
Tell him what you told me, Paul.
Yeah, I will. At the 34th biennial convention, we had the Ohio DNR officers that busted Alexander come and give a breakdown of what they did and how they did it. The Ohio DNR was awarded the wildlife officer, the Wildlife Management Officer of the Year award because of this story. Anyways, the amount of detail that these boys went into, my wife is a true crime junkie. Like, she watches stuff that just makes me just freak out. And I'm like, you need to turn this crap off. That's what I felt like I was listening to. These guys were monitoring text, monitoring phone records. They were, had surveillance on his home. They monitored these properties, and they would go onto the property where it was killed and the property where he said it was killed. And they would go and they described all of this in incredible detail. But anyways, they ended up busting him basically with the picture of a stick. And they on the property where he was actually killed, and they find the picture, they find this stick on the ground, and they bring up the photo of his harvest photo, and they're like, look, that's the stick. So this proves that it wasn't killed on this property where he says it was killed. It proves it was killed right here. And then they find all this like string material. They're trying to figure out what it was. And anyways, they do all these tests, and they come to find out that it was material from the ice bags that he was stuck in the chest cavities. He was stuffing the chest cavities of the deer until he could go in and pull it out where nobody would see him. So it was just like this incredible story about how the Ohio DNR caught this guy. I mean, it seriously seemed like I was watching, like, you know, Miami Vice or something. I don't know the name of those. Seems like I was watching a police show, and they were doing like this full investigation. It was like incredible. And then it cuts, like, after all of this, it cuts to a clip of him on a podcast like 3 weeks later, and he's still like, you really think I did that? I'm not stupid enough to do that, man. And he'd already been sentenced. He'd already been found guilty. It was comical, to say the least. The dude's an absolute moron. Like, the dude, I mean, anyways, the dude is dumb as a box of rocks. And so, no, I don't even think he's controversial. I think he's just an idiot who broke the law, and he needs to be fined severely, and he needs to serve time, and he needs to pay a whole lot of money, and he needs to not be able to buy a hunting license anymore. That's what I think.
He is
no controversy about it. He's wrong.
He is serving time, ain't he? Or is he not?
Yeah. No, yeah. He got, I'd have to look. I can't look at my phone because we're on here. I can't look at my computer because we're on there. Go to pope-young.org. Go to the news section. We just did a full story on it. And, you know, all of the sentencing. Yeah, he got prison time and crazy amounts of money. And it was, you can't buy a hunting license for X amount of years, or until even after that, until full restitution is paid. And I actually got to talk to the Ohio DNR officers afterwards, and they're like, well, we don't expect the dude to pay it off anytime soon. He doesn't have a job. Doesn't, you know, it was like, anyways.
Hold on. This might be a little juicy. Campbell said, I got questioned by the federal game wardens over something Chris Brackett did.
Wait, what?
Dude, what? Prove it. Was there a stick in the photo? Snitches get stitches. Well, Chris Brackett really ain't in that line of work anymore. He's into growing deer, not shooting them. That was a wild one. That one was, I don't know, but that was something he didn't post. His cameraman posted it, supposedly, which, let's see. I will say the wardens north of Alabama seem like FBI agents. Hey, man, they trying to make that money.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's another controversial topic? Drop it in the comment sections here at TikTok. Y'all been pretty interactive so far. Jeremy, I'm about to mute you. Okay, we're doing the best we can. All right, this isn't YouTube. You don't get to skip the commercial. All right, calm down.
Yeah, give us a topic, Jeremy.
Jeremy, give us something cool to talk about. Jeez. So with you and your consumer direct arrows, Jesus.
While we're waiting on Jeremy to give us a topic, I'm going to say this. I think anybody that makes their living in the outdoor industry and brings a negative light to the outdoor industry because of something they did or something they even portrayed that was possible that they did, I have an issue with that. And I make my living in the outdoor industry, and there's several times that, you know, different things have come up, and it was not illegal by any means. It was not even borderline unethical, but I thought to myself, this could come across this way. I can't do this. So yeah, I mean, I think if you make your living in the outdoor industry, you need to be very careful about how you portray the outdoor industry.
I agree.
That's where I'm at.
Will carbon bows fade away in favor of magnesium? Not as long as Hoyt keeps getting them made for so cheap over in China. Absolutely not. Let's see here. There's that. I've posted some controversial stuff, I guess you could say. A lot of people.
You had other topics.
Oh, I do. I'm just. Talking.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. I was just going to bring up something about myself.
I thought we were strictly waiting on Jeremy now.
No, Jeremy's gone. I kicked him out.
Good. Women in social media. That's our next topic from Jeremy.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Jeremy, which one's your favorite?
The reintroduction of wolves.
That's not controversial.
Man.
That's just stupid.
Go back and listen to last episode. I had Jim Willems on, and he talks about how nobody that loves wildlife and the animals that we pursue can ever think it's good to introduce wolves.
All right, here's a good topic. What product is the biggest hoax in the outdoor industry? Somebody say deer pee. Somebody say deer pee. Somebody say deer pee.
Dude, there's a lot of them. Honestly, like a
homie.
lot. Bow hunters are like the biggest gimmicky people ever, and will fall for anything, myself included. Man, I'm going to say something here, and I don't. I'm going to say scent control products.
Baking soda and water, baby.
100%. Now, I said that kind of hesitant because I do use them, but not in the sense like that everybody else does. Like I wash my clothes in them and that's it. And for the reason I have to wash my clothes, and I use baking soda and scent control. I have to wash my clothes, and I'm not going to use Downy. So I use it just because I don't want to add in a bunch of flowery, clean linen scent. Because it's, a soap that doesn't smell like anything, I use it for my clothes, but don't wash my body in it. Hunt the stinking wind. Learn to hunt the wind. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. One of my friends, I drive her up the wall because she washes in it, washes her clothes in it, puts her clothes outside. I mean, everything. She hates the fact that I chew on coffin gagging when I'm deer hunting and still have a lot of success. I spray down every now and then, but honestly, I'll put my clothes on my porch, put them on in the mornings and go hunting. But I play the wind. I mean, if I strategically place stands where that I can hunt based off the wind. I mean, that's the best scent control.
100%.
That's the best scent control, period. I don't care what nobody says. I've heard of people
100%.
smoking up. I've heard of people with pine cones and pine needles and a Tupperware. Do scent control products work to a certain extent? Yes. But let me tell you something. It ain't getting rid of your bad breath. It ain't getting rid of the scent coming out of your nostrils. It ain't getting rid of the scent of that earwax hanging out the side of your ear. I mean, it doesn't get rid of everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you will never trick a deer's nose, like, period. And then you want to talk about bears, like they're even worse. You're never going to trick their nose. You have to hunt the wind. And I'll tell you, I grew up in the whitetail woods, where daddy made you wash your clothes and then he made you go get in the shower and he told you, wash your body real good, wash your head real good, spray down with this. We're not going to the gas station before we hunt. We're not to, put your clothes in the tote with the pine needles. Like I grew up with that. And then I hunted elk for the first time. And I'm like, okay, wait a second. We have worn the same clothes for a week. We have averaged 12 miles and I've sweated my absolute nays off. I smell horrible because I smell myself and I smell all my boys while we're, sitting around having dinner. But yet how are we seeing elk when we're hunting the wind? Like, so and that was the first time where I was like, you know what? Maybe I've thought about this all wrong my entire life. And so,
marketing, baby.
Does it work? Does it work to an extent? Sure. Again, I wash my clothes in it because I don't want to add in the Downy. But it's not because I think, okay, well, if I wash my clothes in this, I can walk right up to a deer. If I wash my clothes in this, I don't even ever have to check the wind.
Yeah.
I wash my clothes in it because I don't want to add a bunch of scent to the woods. Like, yeah, I mean, I want to make a little scent as possible, but I do believe it's a hoax.
All right, I got one more here. Then we'll free ball it for a little while and shut it down. But
hold on. Before we move on,
what you got?
Just to differentiate, because these boys are bringing up ozone. I'm more of a believer in ozone than I am spray. Here's why. Ozone is scientifically proven to kill bacteria outside of the hunting world. It was used in the medical world for years before it was used in the hunting world. It's scientifically proven ozone is O3, which is a heavier oxygen molecule, and bacteria cannot survive in it. So if I put my clothes in a tote with an ozone generator, it will kill the scent on those clothes. However, I'll tell you what's a massive hoax is having an ozone generator above your head and thinking that it's killing all of the scent before it gets to the animal. That's stupid. Because the way that it works is because it suffocates the bacteria on your clothes or on your body or in the room if it's a big enough generator, whatever. But it doesn't, if it's above your head, it doesn't just, catch up with the scent as it goes downwind and kills it out before it gets to the animal. No, ozone's not a cover scent. It kills the bacteria because the bacteria can't live in it. I wouldn't challenge you because it's actually very dangerous. Go into a small closet and turn on an ozone generator. You'll get a massively bad migraine and start getting sick because it's too heavy for you to breathe in. You can't breathe it in, which is the same thing it does. If I lock it in a tote with my clothes, it kills the bacteria on my clothes. Again, I don't practice it and I don't use it because I still, as a person, smell, even if I put on clothes that the bacteria has been killed off of. So it's a moot point. However, it does scientifically kill the bacteria. So if you are putting your boots, your clothes, your bino harness, your backpack, your whatever into a tote with an ozone generator, it will kill the bacteria on those things.
Well, there you have it, boys and gals. Play the win. Stop buying scent stuff. I'm just kidding.
Bingo.
It's a mental game. If it makes you feel better, do it.
Also, you can save about $4 instead of going to the hunting section at Walmart and buying dead downwind deodorant or whatever you buy. Just go buy unscented Mitchellum or Mitchum or whatever it's called from the regular session. It's like 97 cents, just so everybody knows.
When was the last time an archery company dropped an absolute banger of a product? Meaning, oh shit, that's something new. When was the last time you saw one of those?
The Prime Form. Like it, love it, or hate it. I don't care if you absolutely despise the form. I don't care if you love the form. It's something new. It's the last time that we saw somebody say, I'm going to try something completely new, completely different, completely against the grain. It's innovative. It's different. It's change. It's moving the needle forward. Again, whether it's the greatest bow to ever come out of production or not, that's beside the point. The point is they tried something new.
I will have to say to everybody that said it's ugly, it's not going to work, it's a weak point, it's not going to perform. You were wrong.
I've drugged that thing through the mountains now. I can say I have bounced that thing around an ATV and I have shot it a whole bunch. I love the way it shoots. It's a little bit loud. Again, here's what I'm going to say, and I said it the moment it comes out. I told BA this on the podcast. I don't care if the bow absolutely sucks. Thanks for trying something new like that. Hey, I don't care if the bow is a flat out failure. Thanks for trying something new.
Hey, bow companies are like your wife in the bedroom. They love it when you try something new. It may not work out, but they appreciate the effort. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
tired of the same old. Oh God, he's taking his clothes off. Oh God, it's got an aluminum riser and cams and strings. Oh God, carbon and aluminum. Lord have mercy. Hey, Lord, no, honey, we're going to the jacuzzi tonight. Lord,
facts. This person said facts. This person said my wife loves it when I take my form into the bedroom.
Well, that's because you got a real woman and not a little girl. I'm just going to tell you.
The solo cam, I will not say was revolutionary or new.
No, bro. Did you not see my video about if Matthews brought back the solo cam for like an anniversary bow? What if?
Oh no, that'd be dope.
That would be gangster
cool.
as you know what. I would buy one. I would pay full retail for one of those.
Yeah.
It'd be slower than a dog turd, but I'd enjoy shooting it. I feel like
Darton Archery. What did they come out with that was new and innovative? And I'm not challenging you on that. I just seriously don't know.
No, what he's talking about, Darton has been around. They're one of the original three Godfathers, in my opinion. I've said that many times.
100%. Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
Since their new ownership, they have made leaps, and they already have more tunability than Hoyt, as far as paper tuning and timing. And Hoyt's they're unarguably the number 2 sold bow in America. Under their new ownership, in 3 years, they have more tunability than the number 2 sold bow in our country. It's like, whoa, come out swinging. That's my Georgia boy right there. That's Randy, owner of Black Eagle Arrows. Shout out Randy. Shout out Jason. Hope you're smiling right now because you never do at TAC events, but you're a great American. Darton has been really good at shooting the 33 ST2 now, but it's nothing innovative. I would disagree with that, Nick.
Will the form catch on though? And this says, will the form catch on though? Will it influence the industry? No, I don't think in the next, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of companies come out and start putting carbon rods in their riser.
So,
however, what I do think is,
go ahead. Didn't finish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I do think you will see more companies try to use carbon and aluminum in the same bow.
That's the funny.
I don't know that it'll.
That's the funny story.
Be the same though.
A lot of companies have already tried to use carbon and aluminum, and they couldn't do it. Prime was just the first one to get it right.
Right, and I've heard that too. And you know as well as I do, the guys at Prime are like, hey, listen, we're not a marketing company. We are a engineering company, and we engineer. Like, this is what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's what I want to bring up. This is for you, old hot Scott. I saw Bow Disciples and MFJJ do this, and I don't know if Bow Disciples took him my idea, because a couple years ago I presented this idea to Bow Disciples. Many people have probably had this idea, so I'm not saying I gave them the idea, but I had oftentimes said, if I hand you a bunch of flagship bows with some universal grip on it, and you shot all of them, with today's technology and with how good all bows shoot, do you really think you could tell a difference?
Absolutely.
Do you? Because
Mm-hmm.
Bow Disciples sucked at it. I don't know if you saw their video. He got like half of them wrong.
It's because he doesn't own a bow shop.
Well, yeah, and that's why MFJJ
I'm not taking anything away from James. He shoots a lot, but
right.
If you don't shoot multiple brands on a weekly basis, yeah, absolutely. It's really tough to tell the difference.
Yeah. And that's why, like, to me, it's like, man, everybody makes such a good bow these days. And honestly, like, I love the form. It's a great shooting bow. Whoever said they got the blue in, that's what I'm rocking right back here. And it's almost sexual in nature. But it is loud. Like that, like if I was to shoot the form next to another bow, I would be able to hear the form and say, that's the form. It's loud. But my point is, man, all of these bow companies make phenomenal bows. They're all shooting really well. You can stack arrows with a $600 bow or spend $4,000 on a bow and stack the same arrows. Like, you can shoot bows and they're all going to shoot well. But to me, it just made me really excited that a company wanted to advance the game that I love so much, wanted to push the needle and try something new and do something different and introduce a new looking, crazy looking bow. So shout out to Prime, man. They did it. They tried something new.
Well, to hit on what you were saying earlier about, damn, we got 10,000 likes on TikTok. Just realized that. Appreciate y'all, homies. To to hit on what you were talking about with, telling the difference between one bow to the other, you the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you really know what you're looking for in a bow as far as draw cycle. The way James and Josh did it is they gave James a thick ass like welding glove, and of course closed his eyes and this, that, and the other, so he couldn't feel the grip, he couldn't see the bow, and he was basically just going off the draw cycle and the shot. And if you don't know what you're looking for in a draw cycle, then yeah, a lot of them are going to feel the same. They're going to feel very similar if you haven't shot multiple bows. If you don't know what options are available out there, then yeah, a lot of them are going to feel the same.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This says Connor Brockhouse is a menace behind the prime. First off, I want to know where these Brockhouse boys, how they get all their money and go on all these incredible hunts.
Do you not know who they are?
No, I know who they are.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal freaking shots, great hunters,
Yeah.
kill a lot of crap.
Those boys are freaking tanks. I say tanks. They're not big by any means, but
right.
I mean, all they do is set up total archery challenge events and kill things in that order. They are phenomenal hunters. I mean, just straight up killers. I mean,
yeah, I don't know, dude. They must have some good paying jobs, man, because they go on some incredible hunts. And
those guys, and no, actually, I think he gets his bows same time as I do. I get my prime bows early, but not as early as the Brockhouse boys, because they get to hunt a whole lot more than I do, and they just shoot the snot out of it. And they'll tell the guys at G5, like, hey, this ain't working, or yes, this is working, or this broke, or whatever. I mean, they're just absolute killers.
Oh man. Opinion of tack accident. I think it's absolutely horribly sad. I think it's a travesty. I think my thoughts and prayers are with the family of both parties. I was telling somebody this week, like, yes, my heart breaks for the family of the person who got shot, obviously. However, I can't imagine being the person that shot the arrow either. That's hard. Like, that's a lot to live with based off of a pure 100% accident. So yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely terribly sad. I don't know all the details as far as how it happened. I don't know all the details as far as, how precautions weren't taken so that doesn't happen. I don't know all of that. For those of you who don't know, there's already a question asked. There was a participant at a TAC event this last weekend. They got shot in the head with an arrow. Based off the way that I read it and understood it, he went to pull his arrows, and there was a next group behind him that came up to shoot, and he was behind the target looking for arrows or whatever he was doing, and that group did not see him, and he got shot in the head with an arrow. So it is incredibly sad. My heart breaks for those people, for those families. Being somebody again that I've got a wife and young kids, and I've been to several TAC events, and I can't imagine something like that happening. So my heart absolutely breaks for those families, and I would encourage everybody. There is a GoFundMe page to help the family with medical bills. Go support that. Even if it's just $10, if everybody goes and gives, it'll go a long way. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You notice I didn't post anything about it because I actually just found out some pretty concrete details yesterday evening about that ordeal. I'm still not going to post anything on my channel about it because it's terrible. But at the same time, I don't know what I would say other than like what you said. Hearts go out to that family, and
yeah. I don't need to know all the details.
Hearts also go out to the gentleman who loosed the arrow because it was not on purpose. There was a miscommunication on the field, and evidently the gentleman that loosed the arrow is a veteran and already suffered from PTSD.
Oh no!
And
that's sad, man.
Yeah, So it's all around just not a good deal.
So, and again, Jeremy commented and said he's heard something different. I think everything we've heard up to this point is hearsay. And really, again, I don't need to know all the details. All I know is that my heart breaks for both families. To have to go back home and live with the fact that you shot somebody on accident. There was actually a guy. There was a guy here, not in my hometown, but in the metropolitan area that I live in. He was out shooting his bow, and one of his kid comes around the fences, and he shot his child right in the chest. And as he was in the hospital with his kid, again, he obviously didn't mean to. His heart was breaking as a father, and he was just trying to comfort his family and be there for his kid. And as he's sitting there with his kid, the police come in and arrest him. Like, again, I can't imagine anything. I can't imagine living with that. So my heart breaks for both parties. I don't need to know the details. It sucks no matter what happens.
Here's what I would like to end this topic on. I've seen, like you said, several GoFundMe pages. I think I've seen 3 as of yesterday, and a total combined of $15,000 roughly has been raised for this gentleman who is in stable but critical condition. So hats off to the entire archery community in such a short period of time to come together and say, hey, let's put our 2 cents in and try to help.
You just
help
went
out
quiet
this
on my
scenario.
TikTok.
So hats off to
you
all
went
the
quiet on both, actually.
Do what?
I can't hear you on the podcast or the TikTok.
Do what? Seriously?
I got you back now.
Oh. Okay.
Got you back.
What was the last part you heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Again, yeah. It's a sad situation all around. We don't know all the details, and we'll just keep praying and hoping that he pulls through. So.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Comment section. What y'all got for us? Give us 1 or 2 good bangers and we're going to shut this mug down. What you think about it, D?
T, I'm from Kansas, big dog. Live just outside of Wichita.
When are you going to let me come out there and turkey hunt, homie?
You can come turkey hunt anytime you want.
I
will not be with you.
How much
I'll
land
be at the
you
house.
Got? How much land you got?
Enough to turkey hunt on.
What's enough?
Across leases, I believe 800, 900 acres of different leases.
Do they have turkeys?
Yeah.
And you don't turkey
I'm not
hunt?
going to kill them. No, I don't turkey hunt. Because there's bear hunting in the spring.
I would just like to point out that this offer is exclusive only to Bow Talk. Nobody else in the chat or in the podcast.
Scotty Bow Talk.
Yeah.
Dominant Strand's got lots of turkeys for you. You can go hunt with him. He tries to kill him and can't. He probably needs your help. I'll drive, Scotty. Come on, Jeremy. I want to meet you, dude. You seem like a dope guy. He'll drive. You guys come hunt turkeys. I'll sit at the house and do something fun. Now, thoughts on Truth Now. I don't know what that means.
Truth Archery. It's a company my buddy started up, a bow company. You really don't watch my shit, do you? Thought we were friends.
Man, dude, listen. As somebody who works in social media full time, I don't spend a lot of time on it. Like, it's funny because like when my wife gets home from work, she wants to sit on social media and whatever, just sit there and do nothing. When I get off of work, I want to not look at social media because I'm off work. Like I don't spend a lot of time on social media, believe it or not.
I can relate,
especially
to that.
on TikTok.
I've hunted a lot around Hutchinson.
Around Hutchinson, nice, man. Me too.
Well, Jeremy, this spring I'll text you and let you know how it is when I get done over at Dillon's.
I'm actually going to bring Jeremy instead. He seems like a fun guy.
See how many T-shirts he's going to buy from you.
Speaking of T-shirts, I did just drop a whole bunch of new apparel on the Typical Sportsman website. I have not mentioned that on the podcast yet. So there is new Keep the Dusty Side Up shirts, which is if you don't keep the dusty side up, I feel sorry for you, homie. New on the website. Go check them out. Bow hunter shirt that I'm wearing now. I dropped a bunch of new ones this week. Go check it out, typicalsportsman.com. Now, I got a controversial topic for you, and then we're going to wrap this up. We're going to go home.
All right.
Are you ready?
I was born ready, homie.
Are you sure?
Hold on. Hit me.
Do you think that people invest, and this is coming from full disclosure, this is coming from something me and Scotty have a meeting tomorrow, and this is going to be discussed from a nonprofit organization standpoint. Do you think that people invest too much time, effort, and money on buying goods and resources and leasing land or new broadheads, new arrows? I mean, all this stuff we spend money on, and not enough time, effort, money, energy, resources on defending and protecting our rights as hunters.
You asking me or the chat?
You.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I see you.
Or anybody on here. But,
okay. So
I just
funny story about that. 110%. I would agree with supporting an organization that preserved my right to hunt in general. And like you said, something we're going to talk about tomorrow in that meeting, we need to do a better job of getting that particular organization's name out there. Even though they're doing stuff behind the scenes, nobody knows about it. So unfortunately, they're not appreciated as much as they should be, in my opinion. I mean, you told me the other day about what Pope and Young does. And I honestly had no idea. And that's arrogance and negligence on my side about keeping hunting alive in not just certain counties, but states in general. Apparently Pope and Young's got some badass attorneys. Shout out to the people that went to law school. I'm a 2-year dropout over here. So yes, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that
I'm a 2-time dropout.
Do what?
I said, I'm a 2-time dropout.
Oh, you went back for round 2. I quit after round 1. That Christian school knocked me out. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with companies, or excuse me, organizations that help preserve your right to hunt that you don't know about. But I feel like, and I hope in the very near future, you're going to know a lot more about what goes on. And I mean, people should know. Like, a lot of times people don't know that their right to hunting is being threatened. And you know, obviously that's the way a lot of people want to keep it, but that's not right, because a lot of times people won't know until it's too late. So
yeah,
there's definitely I'm excited about what's to come with that organization.
And I'll say this too. It's not just for me. It's not just about Pope and Young. For me, it's we spend thousands of dollars on camo, on bows, on arrows, on you name it. I mean, thousands of dollars. But yet we can't spend $45 to become a part of our local organization that's protecting our rights as hunters. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, it's like, it don't matter how much money you spend on camo or how much money you spend on bows or what kind of arrows you're shooting. None of that matters if your rights are taken tomorrow. If your privilege to bow hunt is taken tomorrow, none of that money that you have spent will matter. And so, again, for me, it's not just Pope and Young, but here's what I believe. I believe if you're an elk hunter, you should belong to the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I believe if you are a duck hunter, you should belong to Ducks Unlimited. I believe if you are a pheasant hunter, you should belong to Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever. I believe you should belong to, Whitetails Unlimited and your local organizations, because those are the ones that are fighting for your rights as a hunter. And it's just, it bugs me so much when people spend so much money, time, effort, and resources to buy all this equipment, but they can't invest money in the organizations and the companies that are fighting for their rights as a hunter to make sure they continue to have the privileges to bow hunt. And so, yeah, man, I mean, it bugs me all the time when you go to all of these massive, ATA and you see all these shows and you're like, man, look how much money is being exchanged in this room. And then think about if we took 1/10 of that money and put it towards conservation, what we could do. I mean,
let me ask you something, Dylan, since you've obviously been involved with Pope and Young a lot longer than I have. How many clothing companies in the outdoor industry, how many broadhead companies, how many bow companies, how many release companies, how many sight companies, target companies, feeder companies, seed companies in the outdoor industry, take a portion of what they make every year and put it towards conservation?
Man, I would say very few.
If you take 100% of the outdoor industry, as far as companies go that sell to retailers like me, 5%, 10%, 20%?
No, yeah, it's more than 5 and 10. I'm gonna say 20, 25, yeah, somewhere in there. But I also, and I will not name any names, but
right.
I know people, I know manufacturers who make hunting equipment who are against hunting. Like they were engineers that knew they could make something that would work really, really well. And they are non-hunters. They argue against the wife of the owner is a staunch member of PETA. And so it's like, man, there are people in this game who just knew they could make a quick buck. But I would say 20, 25%. And then there is, 1 to 2% that are just not even hunters whatsoever and could care less about our privilege and rights to hunt.
Dominant Strands said, I'm going to read half of what he said, or a little over half. How many people aren't members of a conservation organization? Well, that's the whole ordeal with a organization of conservation is people don't understand what that means. People don't understand what that is. A lot of people think they just you just send them your money and that's it. They don't realize what that money is going towards. And that's something well, we're going to talk about and potentially shine some light on it here in the near future. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut down this Tic Tac Live. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We held a solid 80 to 50 people this whole time, as late as it is. I can't believe that. It's 11 o'clock my time, homie. God, dandruff. That is glorious. Appreciate y'all watching. Glad y'all could tune in. If you feel like you missed something or want to go back and watch it again, you know where to find it on the Typical Sportsman podcast. And what in tarnation? They done messed my button up on the daggum Tic Tac Live. I can't figure out how to turn this sucker. Oh, it's because I got that screen on. There we go. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
There are very few things that I have with me every time I'm in the outdoors. Whether I am upland hunting, deer hunting, elk hunting, just out shooting my bow, out checking trail cameras, very few things that are always with me. One thing that I always have with me is my binocular harness. And I searched the world for what I felt to be the best binocular harness. In my opinion, there's a fine line in binocular harnesses. Either you get a lot of space for everything you need, but they're big, bulky, and heavy, or they're super streamlined and I just don't have space for everything that I want to have on my chest. Alaska Guide Creations makes phenomenal harnesses. Guys, I wear them all the time. I wear my harness probably every day at some point in my day. And so comfortability is important to me. The way that it stays put where I want it is important to me, but also having enough compartments and being able to move things around modularly to fit it where I want it is also really important to me. I want my rangefinder in a certain place. I want my knife in a certain place. I want my binos to fold out in a certain way. And with Alaska Guide Creations, they have a full line of binocular harnesses that you can make exactly how you want them. I can put different pockets right where it's going to work best for me and my system. Guys, Alaska Guide Creations is the best, hands down, in my opinion, harness you can get, and take it from a guy who pretty much lives in them. Go check out Alaska Guide Creations for your next and your last bino harness. Guys, thank you so much for listening. You guys have a fantastic week, and you guys make sure and go keep the dusty side up.